Welcome to Can TV 21 Let's Talk Etiquette. My name is Nathan Wright, and I am with a very, very special guest co-host today, for which you have seen her many, many times. She's the outstanding Madam Georgia Selman, etiquette maven extraordinary. Welcome, Georgia, to Let's Talk Etiquette. One more show.
Thank you so much. I
Yes,
am
yes.
indeed excited to be here today.
Yes.
This is my second time coming, and this is wonderful. I
Yes.
love coming to your talk show, Mr. Wright.
Thank
It
you.
gives me great pleasure,
Yes.
and I'm happy to be here. Thanks for
Thank-
inviting me.
Thank you so much. I can't do this show without such great artistic talent, that we have in this wonderful lady here. And the subject today is something that's really, really different and unusual. But we thought about this being something that we need to talk to our audience about, talk to our Can TV audience here. And it's a subject that amazingly, still has meaning and purpose. So I'm going to start out with the topic to the show, and then we're going to add a little extra treat to it.
Okay.
And I'll start with this right here. This is the subject. What's going on? Okay, what's going on?
What's going on?
Yes. And that subject, what's going on, is part of one of the great songs of the 20th century. That's
Wow.
why we came up with that title, What's Going On? We asked ourselves, what's going on in our society today? Now, that was Marvin Gaye in 1983. And he was asking what's going on, and we want to ask you that same question. And this is our subject for today. We want to cover this topic as best we can because we want to know what's going on with our young men, with our young women, with this society we live in today. What happened to basic etiquette? I mean, the values that represent no longer really exist, and why? Okay, so this is our subject for today. And Madam, if you can give me some of your feelings about this subject, what's going on in our society and the things that we just heartache by.
Well, first and foremost, Mr. Wright, I just want to thank you for that piece on Marvin Gaye. I absolutely love Marvin Gaye and his great talents and what he contributed to society in his songs and his music.
Yes.
But he was such a man that knew community, that knew people, and could sing and write music accordingly.
Yes.
And when I think about that song, I think about the people that died over the weekend. We had 43 shootings over the weekend, 43 deaths, and 6 of those shootings were fatal. 6 of those shootings, 43 shootings, and 6 of them were fatal. And that saddens my heart. I know, we should be talking more upbeat and more, but the reality is what it is. What's going on?
Yes.
What's really going on?
Yes.
Why is it that we have children being shot and killed? Why is it that we have an 8-year-old
Yes.
that was caught in the line of fire sitting in a relative's home?
Yes.
What's going on?
What's going on? That question should be asked by everybody. From the president on down to the governor on down to the pastors in the church. Everybody should be asking what's going on because we must find a solution. We can't continue. It's only getting worse. It's getting worse. It's not getting better. It's not going to go away, obviously.
I think every entity needs to ask that question.
Yes.
from the churches
Yes.
to our government,
Yes.
to our park districts, to
Yes.
our schools,
Yes.
to the education communities. Everyone should be collaborating
Yes.
and talking about what's going on
Yes.
and what role, what can we do,
Yes.
what
Yes.
can we do
To solve it.
to solve
this
some of the
problem.
hatred and some of the
Yes.
anger and some of the crime
Yes.
and some of the disheartened personalities that's going on in
Yes.
our communities and our homes.
Yes.
What's going on?
What's going on? And that's so important for us to ask ourselves. We need to search our own souls and dig deep to find an answer to this. Why is this happening to us at this time in our history? There's no other explanation for it other than we have not stepped up. First, by asking yourself, what's going on and what can I do about it?
Yes.
What can I do about it? What role can I play? And creating whatever it takes to make a difference in what we are experiencing. I heard on the news recently that we may have 1,000 homicides
Yes.
this year. 1,000 homicides. And you mentioned shootings, 40-some shootings.
Yes.
1,000 homicides, but 5,000 people shot in
And
Chicago.
that was just over the weekend.
Oh,
That was just over the weekend. 4 young boys shot in the head.
and
What's going on?
what's going on? We got to have answers, and our leaders are not giving us answers that makes it possible to solve what's going on.
Well, we have to look at the leaders. That's an absolute must. The
Yes.
leaders of every entity, our government leaders, our community leaders, our family leaders
Yes.
in our homes.
Yes.
We have to look at every leader and every person and ask that question and sit down and try to find a solution.
Try to find a solution. We can
Where do
solve
we
it.
start? Do we
Right.
start in the schools? Do we start in the community centers? Do we start at the church? Or do let's start at home.
That's the place to start. That's the place to start.
Let's start at home.
Let's start there. You're absolutely right. Because every one of those boys went to some place to sleep every night. They were not homeless street people. They went somewhere and laid their heads every night in some place called house or home. That's 99% an absolute.
So we have to look at the parents. One, the parents. Even if there's just a single parent at home, what is the single parent doing? Are we so overwhelmed and so overloaded and so discouraged that we can't find the time for our children?
Right.
And provide to them some something, some love, some recreation, some
right.
time together.
Right. Absolutely.
What's going on?
And if they're living in your home, I mean, you should have a curfew. There's no justification for them to be out at 11 or 12 at night.
Well, I know we had a curfew when I was coming along.
Of course.
Yes. I mean,
that's just a basic you can enforce as a parent. You have to be in at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, because there's no other reason for you to be out unless you're working. If you're employed, that's a difference. But if you're not employed, why are you out at 11, 12 o'clock at night?
but the parents must be there as well. I think that the parents have to be there.
You have to be,
I think
absolutely.
all of us, every person, needs to take an active role in trying to curtail and trying to stop the violence
Yes.
and trying to create activities and programs to engage our young people
Yes. I totally agree.
consistently. It shouldn't stop. These activities should not stop when school is over.
No.
What about the community centers?
Right.
We had a community center when I was coming up.
Yeah, they have them all over. I mean, the community centers are pretty much intact.
So we need community leaders,
And
community
the
centers.
churches have programs.
And the churches should.
Have programs for the
Absolutely.
children. You know, but there's a certain number of slipping through the cracks. It doesn't take a large percentage of them to wreak havoc on the society.
Well, my question is, why are these things slipping through the cracks? Is it intentional? I hate to say that.
Yeah.
I really do. I really hate to say and even think that
it's deliberate by design.
It's that by design that we have a society and we have leadership that's allowing certain things to happen, and they're not eager to stop it. I don't want to think that.
No.
But why is it that we have so many shootings and so much crime in our communities, and they're all over?
All over, it is, and they're acting out in such a violent, heartless, cold manner. I mean, the level of violence and the motivation behind it is just insane. You know, it doesn't serve any purpose, doesn't really achieve anything. You know, the easiest thing to do is shoot somebody. I mean, what satisfaction or gratification comes from that? I mean, what does that have to do with you being a male, or you want to call yourself a man? What does that have to do with who you are as a human being? And that's where I think the whole missing link is in this whole process, because the schools are failing our children horribly. They have to take some responsibility for what's going on. What's going on? They have to take some responsibility for it. I mean, you can't get around it.
You know, I don't want to, point the finger at any particular group.
Okay.
I think we all need to take responsibility and own up to some of the possibilities and responsibilities of things that are not happening and things that are happening, negative, positive. So I'm not going to, I don't want to just zero in on one entity, because I think everybody has a responsibility to try to make a difference in the lives of our children, in our communities, in our families, and our homes. I think it's a collective effort to make a difference. And until we come together as a people, to all people, until we come together as a people to try to find solutions to some of the major problems that we're having in our homes and our communities, we're going to continue to see this failing generation. I think I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic, and I believe that whatever little bit you can contribute, whatever little bit I can contribute, and whatever little bit all of us can contribute can make a difference.
Yes.
And you may want to say, well, where? How? What do we do? There are just a number of things that we can do.
Yes, and we're doing it.
One thing we can do is believe that there can be change. That's the first thing, is to believe that we can. There can be change, and there will be change.
Yes.
And then next, do something to make a change.
Do something.
We can all sit back and talk about it.
Right.
What's going on?
But
what are we doing to make something going on that's positive, that's meaningful?
Right. So true. And, unfortunately, it just hasn't happened because there's not enough will among the populace. It takes collective will with a set of values and principles backed up by action. If you believe a certain thing, then you have to follow through by acting in that direction. I can sit here and say I believe this or I believe that, but I have to take that belief and transfer it into behavior. if I believe in saving some young man's life, then I have to step up and make an effort to reach out to that young man.
Yes, absolutely.
He's not going to come to me and ask me. I have to make the effort to reach him. So if we all made an effort to connect with one or two young people, if we could do that, then that should have some meaningful impact on our situation. But it's like we seem to be, as a people, we seem to be not willing to step up and take a position and do something about it. That's what's missing. We may say we believe this, but are we actually going out and doing it?
Yes.
You see, that's the difference. And as a community, if you need to organize your block and every house or every apartment along the way, then you say, go out there. Here, we have a problem. Let's try to solve it. I have some ideas. Join with me. It's a collective. This community is already organized. The community is organized, but we're not doing things that we could do with an organization like we have, And so that's one of the strategies that I have always advocated, and the foundation advocates the same thing. Let's use our collective power to make a difference in our lives and in our children's lives. And then maybe you may have to give up a little sports on Sunday or Saturday. It may mean you may have to get some more different priorities in your life personally. And I understand the golf, you're going to play golf on Sunday or Friday, and you got to be out there and, all of that. But think about what else you could be doing that's equally, a matter of fact, more important than what your activities, your leisure activities. And that's where I think we aren't putting enough time in the week to do these things that are more important and serious about changing what we see on TV every day. How many people? 40-some shot?
46. 46.
Okay.
And that's just in the Chicagoland area.
Yes, we organize on a host of levels. I mean, the churches are organized, the politicians are organized, people who believe in being politically active, you're already organized. If you believe in a certain faith, you're already organized. So take 2 blocks. For churches, the data is so available. Like the 42 were shooting. I would say maybe 60% or 50% happened in a certain geographical area. It's online. I know it's there because I've seen it, where the homicides occur.
Yes.
And they're like little black dots on the map. And you can see that map, okay, over here on the west side, over on the south side. Let's go over there, and we men go over there and get out our cars and talk to those young men. That's what we need. We need to do that 2 or 3 times a week. Devote your time to that. And I think you will have an impact on changing the way those young men feel. And I mean, there are all kinds of ways. We the majority, they are the minority. So why can't we the majority come together and go and say, okay, we're going to go, 5 of us, we're going to work this side of the street, for 4 hours. And whomever walks by on this side of the street, we're going to have a conversation with them. And that's something we can do. And we're not doing it. So we do need to put ourselves together, like you said, and get better organized. And we, yes, can make a difference, So what else would you suggest or recommend?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. I'm sort of kind of lost for words.
Yeah.
And I say that because my heart is in this. And when I hear about a child sitting in the living room watching TV, and a bullet just shot into the home and killed this child, you get lost for words. And
yes.
You don't know what to say. I have family, and I don't want to have that kind of fear for my family.
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
And the carjacking that's going on now.
Yes.
People can't go to the grocery store or go to the local pharmacy, Walgreens or wherever, and feel safe, because we have so much crime. we have so much crime in our communities, and it's sad because we don't have a lot of solutions.
No.
You know, we don't have solutions. We don't know. I can't imagine a parent knowing that her child is committing criminal acts and not say anything about it. I just can't fathom that. If you know your child
Doing something
is doing
that's not right.
something that is illegal
Right.
and that's doing something that's harmful.
Yes.
And you know, every parent, you know, if you're in the home and you don't know what's going on in your home, boy, pity sat on you.
Yes.
How do you allow this sick person to do something and you not say anything?
Not saying anything. Yes.
I don't want
You
to.
should be able to tell. You
You
should
know,
be able to just talk to your child and see that there's a problem.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that the show was going to kind of go in this direction because Marvin Gaye is such a powerful artist.
Yes, he
But
is.
he's also such a realistic artist with his songs, what's
Yes.
going on,
Yes.
and
Yes.
how he, you know, get into Mother, you
Yes.
know,
Right.
because, you know, how is it that a mother, you know, doesn't know what's going on in her home, or a father doesn't know how to put a handle on his kids, his son,
Yes.
his daughter?
Yes.
Why is it so popular for young ladies to find it fascinating to be a dancer in a strip club? Why is that? You know, I was taught to be a lady
Yes.
at all times, and you demand respect. What happened to those values? You
Yes.
know, what's going on?
Yes.
What happens to young ladies wanting to be respected and to be a young lady? What happened
What
to
happened?
those, you know, times?
What's going on?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yes. Yes.
Why
yes.
is it
And I'm
popular
sad to see this.
to be a dancer in a strip club? You know,
Yes, that shows how far we are removed from our humanity. This is a question about our humanity as a people and this society, where it is acceptable and in fact is promoted as something unique and special. They call them gentlemen's clubs, you know, and they take the word gentleman and turn it into something nasty or something just evil. You know what I mean? To go and pay to see a woman take off her clothes. I mean, you know, and you willing to pay to see that? I mean, it was okay if it's your mother up there doing that?
wow.
Is it okay if your wife is up there doing that? You
Your
okay with
daughter,
it?
your child.
Or your daughter is doing that? Are you okay with that? You go pay whatever you pay to go in these gentlemen's
What's
clubs?
going on?
What's going on with us?
I don't want to, you know,
They'd be out of
I'm
business
square.
tomorrow if you didn't pay. They would be out of business. That's how you shut them down. Don't patronize them. But yes, go ahead.
I consider myself a pretty pretty hip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of know what's going on.
Yes, we
and-
kind of
and
know.
what's happening. I don't consider myself what we used to call
Lost,
a square.
Square.
You know, but
Yes.
I do know that it's important for us. I don't care what level of life you're on or in.
Yes.
It's important for us to advocate and to promote what is right, what
Yes.
is correct, what is proper. And those are the kinds of influences I want to put out there.
So I guess we're getting close to concluding the show out. If you have any comments, please reach out to us. You can reach out to me, Nathan, at efoi.org, and I'll be more than happy to hear from you. And let's make something happen. Okay, not what's going on, but let's make something happen to solve the problems we're having as a society. And I want to close by thanking you once again for being my guest today. And the subject matter was right on point, and your opinions is you can't beat those values that this great lady has here. And I'm really honored to have her here on the show with me. And I suppose with that said, I think we're going to get the signal to conclude out. And I want to thank you once again, and please join us next Wednesday to Let's Talk Etiquette. And we're certain to have something that you will enjoy, like we enjoyed this brother here, Marvin Gaye. Wasn't he awesome?
Amazing.
Wasn't he awesome?
Yes.
You can't say that was an amazing brother. And I don't know if you saw the video. I think it was 25th anniversary of Motown or something that he was performed.
Yes.
It's on YouTube. And you talk about a artist at work. I mean, he played the piano. Get up out that chair and just watch it. You'll enjoy it too. And with that, have a great evening.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Wright. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you for being with me. Thank you.